This is going to be your weekly twin flame soulmate relationship tarot reading. If it's meant for you, it's meant for you. We're going to take a look at the connection between you and your person. So in the comments, please let me know your zodiac signs and your word of the day. Okay, so I'm filming this right after the full moon in Capricorn. Again, I'm really curious to know how you're doing because there's this general vibe in the air of grief and just this need to truly let go. I feel quite tired in general. I don't feel overly motivated, but that doesn't mean that I don't want to do things. It's just the energy itself is quite tiring. You know, it's kind of like a neither nor kind of energy, but a need to recalibrate, if that makes sense, before we undertake something new. Okay, so let's see what are some overall themes and messages. And we have here be bold and make the first move. It's almost like you may not be feeling like you need to do anything or you want to do anything, like I was just saying, but there is this push, you know, to do something, to make something happen, to embark on a new journey. But it's like your new life is going to cost you your old life. And I've been talking about that a lot recently. With that, see, we have square energy, a challenging situation and a mountain to climb. See, doesn't it feel like that in a way where you don't really want to climb the mountain, but you know you have to? I think that's the best card that could have described the energy right now. So no surprise that that came out. All right, let's see what else we need to know. And we got the sun. Open your heart to the enormous growth ahead. See, this is the point. You got to be open to the new. Are you in the old or are you in the new? As I always say. Okay, well, that being said, let's take a look at what's going on in your headspace, your person's headspace, your heart space, their heart space, overall energy and underlying energy. And of course, feel free to swap sides if it makes more sense. Now, stick around. We're going to do a layer of oracle cards to give us some messages in between. And then we're going to be using the after tarot to see what's in the near future, to see how this all plays out. Now, in your headspace, oh, there's a card that is turned over. Maybe that's an extra message for us. The Hanged Man energy. Can you make that up? Can you make that up? Absolutely not. The hangman means we are like in neither nor kind of energy. It's that challenging situation that I was just talking about. So in your headspace, we have here the, oh my goodness, this would not be a Kelly Lorraine reading without it. I mean, we're starting off on point. Knight of Pentacles, trust the process. Now, for those of you that know me, I'm rolling my eyes going, trust the process, Kelly, trust the process. How many of you say this to yourself? I mean, you don't say Kelly, but I mean, insert name. Uh, trust the process. TTP. Okay, and with that, we have the Ace of Swords. Ace of Swords is truth and clarity. And maybe that's what some of you are realizing right now with this obstacle or with this challenging situation, that all you can do right now is trust the process. Maybe that's the epiphany. That's the recognition. Like everything else hasn't worked. Okay, what if I just trust? What if I just open up? What if I just let things unfold? Yeah, here's the Five of Swords. In your person's headspace, they've got some conflict, headaches, and the Knight of Swords about moving forward. It's like they want to. They want to. They want to ride in really quickly. But there's this conflict of what happens if they do, you know? Okay, let's take a look at your heart space. Five of Cups, 5-5, big changes ahead. That's a bit of tower moment energy as well when you see fives. Five of Cups is sadness, grief, and disappointment. And there's that grief I was just talking to you about. You know, your new life is going to cost you your old life. Things aren't always working the way you want them to, but the universe gives you what you need, not what you want. And there's the Wheel of Fortune. There is growth, there is expansion, there is good luck. Things are shifting. And as I always say, you can't fight the shift. It works against you. If you fight nonstop, you're just going to get conflict and tougher situations. Now, here we have the Six of Pentacles, equal giving and receiving in balance. And that's really what we need. You know, on your person's end here, they're trying to find that balance. They might be a little bit detached also. You might notice that they're not as warm as they usually are. There could be some coolness here. They want to ride in, but they have the conflict. They want to feel balanced, but do they feel balanced? Can they really give emotionally right now? That's the difficulty. Now, overall energy from each deck, there's the Strength card, trying to find the strength and the courage to move forward. And there's the Eight of Swords. How do we do it? The Eight of Swords is the illusion of mental entrapment. Underlying energy, see, I told you, there's the Tower. The Tower card means things are changing, whether we want them to or not. And the Ten of Wands, it's burdens, right? Mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally exhausted. It's getting to us. We can't do this forever, is kind of what the vibe is. So let's take some oracle cards and just kind of go through now and clarify in your headspace. Shocking. That Ace of Swords can be an epiphany or something shocking coming through, something unexpected. I mean, we have such strong Uranus energy right now. I mean, Uranus just moved into Gemini, and I know that's something that's going to be for the next 7 years or so. So it's not necessarily affecting us right this second, although it may. It may. It depends on where you are at in your journey. Let's see. Silence, frozen, no words, stonewall. You might feel like, again, your person is quiet, or you're feeling quiet. It's something around you right now is just very, again, neither nor. Crickets. In your person's headspace, karma, cause and effect. It's almost like there's a bit of consequence for some past behavior. Fantasy, they're daydreaming, imagining, and fantasizing. They care. It has nothing to do with whether they care or they love or they want. They're struggling though, back and forth. In your heart space, you need boundaries. That's the key. You got to put yourself first, always. And with that, we have here breaking point. You might be at your breaking point where you're like, I'm not doing this anymore. I have to move forward. And in your person's heart space, they might have a bit of resentment or some anger or some bitterness, or maybe they said something hurtful, or something could have happened in a conversation that hurt, that they're processing. But your soulmates, there's deep love. And that's what I just said a moment ago. It's not about whether you love each other or care about each other. Overall, there's confusion. That's why the illusion of mental entrapment we just talked about. Pride, ego, even some stubbornness. Underlying energy, there's distance. See what I mean? There's this feeling of detachment and some shallow energy. Somebody feels empty, without the connection or the distance or the quietness, whatever it may be. Let's take a look now with the After Tarot. And this is the energy that gives us a sneak peek, of what the energy is leading to. Cards don't tell you your future necessarily, but they'll tell you the path the energy's on right now. Page of Pentacles, studying and learning. You might be wanting to learn something new, study something, embark on a new hobby or area of study. But it can also be an offer being given to you. It could also be a recognition. And you did have shocking and the Ace of Swords. So there might be a recognition of something really coming through. And look, there's the Star card, which is healing and blessings and wishes coming true. So you have a lot of healing coming your way. So very nice. In your person's headspace, well, funny, we talked about conflict and I said, you got to put the swords down. This is where a decision is made, because this is the After Tarot. So there's going to be some sort of decision on your person's end. And the moon, yeah, well, full moon and Capricorn vibes. We just had this full moon. The moon is purging, surrendering, and letting go. Interesting, the sun and the moon. Sun is divine masculine, moon is divine feminine. Oh, look in your heart space. Knight of Swords, now moving forward and like winning the battle here, right? We had the Knight of Swords earlier. And look at the embrace. When you make boundaries after hitting your breaking point, this is what brings in the love that you desire. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but it is what brings you what you want. And in your person's heart space, Ace of Pentacles, there's the offer of something new, the tangible new offer, the road to something abundant. Look at this, these partnerships. 222 could be an angel number you're seeing. They got the whole world in their hands. They're both leaving the comfort zone. Overall, we have here the Six of Swords moving on to calmer waters and peace. It's almost like saying we've made it through the storm. And there's the Seven of Wands where we're going to stand up. Now, I know we said no more fighting, but this is not so much, I mean, yes, in the image it's about fighting, but the Seven of Wands is like, are you on the offensive or are you on the defensive? You know, are you in self-preservation or are you going to speak up and stand up? And this is the energy of saying, no, I'm ready to speak up and stand up. Nine of Wands or Nine of Wounds, as we've called it before. I mean, one knee down, but not down and out. This is about healing, working through those wounds. And look, there's the Fool, getting ready to let go and embark on something exciting. It may be the unknown, but it can absolutely be exciting. Let's take a last bit of guidance here for each of you, one for each side. And for you, thinker, you're in your head too much right now. 44 could be an angel number you're seeing. Be careful with the overthinking. It's not helping. That was the illusion of mental entrapment we talked about earlier. And look, come to the edge. Your person is on the edge of doing something different out of the comfort zone. I really hope this resonates with you. If you'd like to do a personal reading with me, the link is in the description box below. Thank you very much, and I wish you an amazing day.